Are you still struggling to fill your vacancies? Are you wondering why you might not be attracting candidates? Are you thinking, oh, we're not offering the right money, or it must be the location, must be there's a shortage of talent and skills in our industry? So these might all be valid points, and you should absolutely research every single one of them and look at how competitive your opportunity is in your sector, in your location, in the current marketplace. But also, it could be your employer brand. What's an employer brand, I hear you cry? So basically, your employer brand is your marketing strategy to your candidates. I imagine you've all got, or should have, we have one at Fresh now, a marketing strategy, which is a plan of how you're going to market and peddle your wares to your customers, bringing them to you so you can turn that into leads, sales and opportunities. You know what your clients want. You know their demands, their needs and requirements. You should know who they are, where they are, what industries they operate in, and that marketing strategy will be tailored to them. So whilst candidates might be interested in some of those things, they are also interested in different things to customers. They want to know what it's going to be like working for you. Yes, they might be interested in your industry, the opportunity, the location, the job itself. Oh, hi Lenny. Lenny knows a lot about employer brand. They will be interested in that to a certain degree, but they want to know what's in it for them, basically. So your employer brand is your marketing strategy, but dedicated to candidates, and it covers every single touch point of that candidate or employee's journey with you and the experience of you and your brand. So it starts with how you communicate. So it could be social media. So what does your business look like to them online? Can they envisage themselves looking through the keyhole and working with you and your team? Can they see the personality, the ethos, the vibe, the culture? Can they see the environment they're actually going to be in physically? Do you share things like birthdays or behind the scenes or work anniversaries or team trips, team building? Are there other people within your company online for them to look at? And is your office there so they can see and picture themselves working for you? And it's the tone of voice and the language that you use in those social media posts. If you're a fun, relaxed, informal brand, that should be your language. If you're more serious, corporate, maybe work in like the legal sector, for example, or in financial advice where compliance is high and you can't always say everything you want to say. You have to operate within very strict and rigid guidelines, but then the language has to emulate that so that you're attracting the right kind of people. And then it kind of moves on through to your job adverts. How are you marketing that advert to candidates? Because that you're marketing the opportunity. It's an advert like you would put for a product or service in a magazine or on TV, but this just happens to be on the job boards because you're looking for candidates. And again, it has to emulate your brand. If you're informal, use that language. If you're trying to attract a certain type of person, think about what kind of language would appeal to them. If it's sales, marketing, HR, they're going to be more personable. They're probably going to want more words and more engaging copy. If they're seriously and highly technical, they might need less words. They might need more bold, direct, assertive text and copy and call to actions to engage with their personality type. So it's all about who are you as a company, what's your brand and ethos, and can convey that to candidates through social media, through the adverts, and then it's every single touch point. So once a candidate applies, it's what happens then. Someone emails them and says, thanks for applying. Again, if you're a fun brand, you don't want dear sir/madam, thank you so much. You just be like, hey, cheers for applying. We're really looking forward to having a chat. If it's an automated email, and then whoever is responsible for the recruitment process, so who's ringing them after they've applied, saying thanks for applying, let's book an interview or a telephone call or go through some screening questions. The questions themselves need to all be backed up in relation to your brand. And demonstrate personality, ethos, culture. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but I really want to hammer this point home. And then the interview confirmation email, the email you send to them saying to confirm all the details, again, follow that up in the right kind of language, timely fashion as well. The job description needs to be in the same ethos and spirit as the ads and the social campaigns. When they come in for the interview, they need to be greeted in this way. So if you've built up this amazing, chilled, relaxed vibe through social media, your ads, and the interview process so far, and then they get there and it's very quiet, very serious, very corporate. There's going to be such a mismatch of expectations, and first impressions count for a lot. So you can't just make it up and hope that you can engage me over here in this way, but the actual reality is very different. So you really have to get to the true core of who you are and what you do and why you do it. And then the interview itself, again, needs to follow the same process. The questions there need to kind of follow on from the advert and the screening call, the telephone interview. There needs to just be an extension, and then the follow-up after that interview. Even so much with the offer itself, and then obviously in between them accepting and starting, again, back that up with personality, actions, show them what you told them that you cared about and stood for. You have to back that up with action through the interview and the onboarding process as well. And then your employer brand, it reaches even further, so it will touch all your team members are ambassadors essentially of your employer brand, and they will market that to the masses. So when they go to events, when they meet people, so it's why it's really important to hire the right people. When they go to a wedding, for example, fresh in my mind because I'm getting married next week, but someone's like, oh, what's your name? Or how do you know the bride? What do you do? And like, oh, I work in recruitment at Fresh Perspective. And they need to back up your brand, your values, your ethos. So it's every single touch point that anybody would have who could be a potential employee of your business, wherever they might be, and that touch point might be experienced. That's what your employer brand is. It's a wide, overarching strategy. There's lots of different elements within it. It needs to be very well planned and very well executed, and everybody in the business needs to be on board with it. If you need any help with this, because it sounds like a minefield, give me a call. You can find us on Google, Fresh Perspective Resourcing, or drop a comment on this video,